Hey, so today's mini vlog is going to be about wedding planning because I am in the thick of it. And you would think for someone that works in the wedding industry, planning your own wedding would be a breeze, but absolutely not. I've had no motivation to at all. Is that a bad sign? I hope not. Sorry, Wallace wants attention. You can come and tell them about wedding planning too, because I wish I was marrying you. You're so cute. Yeah, I've had no motivation at all, and I think that is from working in the industry. You know quite how much everything costs and the amount of stuff that's just not worth it. And I hate to say that. As a wedding supplier, I back wedding suppliers all the way. Working weddings is really hard work. It's a tiring day. It's not just a day, it's the aftermath, it's the lead up, etc. But saying that, stuff is so overpriced. Okay, the minute you chuck wedding in front of it, people see fucking pound signs. So planning my own, I'm like, what do I actually want, / what do I actually need, what's irrelevant, what's a waste of money. When I go to all these weddings, what's parts of the day where I think not worth it, and there's quite a few actually, so I'm going to be dropping them throughout this video. So first off, I am a cheapskate. I want to spend as little money as possible. I can't be dealing with, or I don't have the funds to be dropping 30, 40, 50k on a wedding. I wish I did, but I don't. So I'm being sensible. I don't want to put anything on credit. I don't want to be paying off my wedding in 5-10 years time. Like, if you do, absolutely fine. Personally, I don't want to. I want it to be completely within our budget. I want it paid off, done, dusted, capiche. Sometimes I think it's easy to run away with the prices. I think, as I said, stuff is very overpriced if you don't know where to look. It's very easy to run away with yourself and your budget to double / triple. I'm really trying hard to keep to my budget because I believe I can. I believe I can stick to my budget and still have a gorgeous day that's everything I envisioned. So firstly, I didn't want a big venue. I didn't want a big expensive venue. I get to go to some amazing ones week in, week out, and trust me, like, they're incredible. They really are. But I think that's what put me off, was because I was going to the venues all the time, and I almost don't want to get married somewhere where, like, I'm gonna have to go back loads of times and shoot other weddings. Like, I don't know, it almost feels like that would take away, like, some of the specialness for me, which might sound silly, but that's just what I'm thinking. So I've actually gone for a registry office, which other photographers are probably going to hear this and think, oh my god, what the hell is she doing? But my criteria when searching for a registry office, the first one was the carpets inside, okay? And I know that sounds really petty and pathetic, but why do they stick the most garish carpets down? No clue. Like, that's all you can focus on in photos, is just the geometric print carpet. And even venues, like, sometimes when they put, like, the worst carpet down in the world, I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, it's just what your eyes naturally divert to, and you can have, like, the most gorgeous decor in the world, the most gorgeous outfits, like, everything planned to a T, and then you stick carpet out the 80s down and all of a sudden it's ruined. So that was one of my main caveats. When I looked for a registry office, I wanted somewhere that wasn't Swindon to start with, but just a personal choice, yeah. Carpets being part of it, and one with just like a nice vibe to it, because registry office doesn't have to mean cheap, tacky, etc. Like, I shoot a lot of registry office weddings and they can be so beautiful. Like, one that really sticks out to me is in Birmingham. I want to say it's like Oldham area. Is that even Birmingham? I might watch this back and realise it's not. But I just remember shooting a wedding there, and it was like the most grand old house, like manor house, and the rooms were gorgeous and the outdoor space was gorgeous, and like you walked slightly up the hill and there was like all these like old ruins. Like, it was just brilliant. And I was like, if I lived closer, like 1000%, I'd be getting married there. So the registry office I'm getting married at is in Stroud. I sort of like the little villagey feel. I sort of like that, a bit quieter. Again, I don't understand the placement of some of them. I know obviously registry offices is not just weddings, but again, when you sort of plonk it next to like a court or a job centre, like, you know, again, it sort of ruins the look in a way, a little bit, unfortunately. Like when you come outside to do photos and there's a man throwing up with his can of Carling at 10 a.m, actual experience, it sort of ruins the vibe a little bit. So yeah, I wanted somewhere that was nice and gave a nice vibe and didn't have shitey carpets. So yeah. Reception wise then, I've booked a barn. Now trying to book an affordable barn was tear my hair out. I mean the cost. Some of them asking like 10k just for hire. Like that doesn't even include like your plates or seats. Like, what planet are we fucking living on? Like, what money do you think I have? I remember I inquired about one in Chippenham, just to sort of see, like, you know, because they didn't have prices on their website, so I inquired. I mean, that should have been like, that's my telltale sign right there. Like, Jade, there's no price out. You can't afford it, you're a poor bitch. But I still inquired, and when they dropped me an email back, just super cash, like, yeah, it's 49 grand. 49 fucking grand just for the venue. That doesn't even include food. Like, I would want someone walking around after me, wiping my ass for me for that kind of money, and I would want that someone to be Lucy and Laviscount. No, actually, I probably wouldn't want him to wipe my ass. But you know what I mean? 49k. Like, no, it's not happening. So yeah, trying to find somewhere affordable. Yeah, but I've managed to find one really gorgeous location just outside of Swindon, in again a little villagey area. Super cute. It's like on, so it's a barn that's on like a working farm, but it's like a separate part of it. So really reasonable price, really reasonable. And they're just super chilled, and you can sort of just do like what you want. Like, you have the hire for 5 days, so we can obviously get all the decor done, get all of that done. And then obviously you've got a day after for cleaning, a day or two after, depending on, yeah, what day you actually get married. I'm getting married on a Friday. Which again is amazing, because the amount of couples that like I'm shooting their day and they're already like moaning about the fact they've got to go to the venue first thing the next morning to clear down ready for 9 a.m. or for 10 a.m. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, again, that's just crazy to me. So yeah, got that sorted. That's booked. Both of them things are booked. Then I need to sort next where I'm getting ready. Now there's a hotel really close to the barn, so that's, yeah, but I just actually need to like book it and make sure that I've got that confirmed. But yeah, really pretty hotel. I've been there so many times. I've been to the spa there, I've been stayed overnight, dinner, etc. Really, really lovely. So that's a nice location to get married in. Married in? I'm not getting married there, get ready in. Again, nice carpets. So decor wise, because it's a barn, obviously it's a bit less informal, which is good, because again, that is the vibe I want. I do not want sit down, stuffy, 3-course meal, mainly because that's not us at all. That's not me and my partner, that's not our families. We're gonna have numerous kids there, quite a lot of kids there. Again, shooting weddings, don't get me wrong, I love a sit-down 3-course meal, but it usually works better when there's not young children. If there's young children, trying to expect them to sit down for 2 to 3 hours and sit down at a formal meal and just provide them like a word search or a colouring in page, it's not going to end well. It's really not. Like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but unless them kids are impeccably behaved, which no child is 100%, you have that concern. So yeah, again, that would be sort of something I would say to anyone else planning a wedding. Really consider like who you're inviting, and like, don't get me wrong, I'm sounding a bit negative now. Make it the day you want, make it exactly how you picture it, but I do strongly feel you've got to consider like who's coming. Like, if you have 50 guests and 15, 20 of them are kids, it needs to be a kid-friendly wedding, doesn't it? Like, it's just, yeah, that's a matter of life. So yeah, quite chilled decor. I think colour scheme, now I've been debating a bit of back and forth on this. I did put it online. Colour scheme, I'm thinking like pink, red. Sorry, that's Wallace kicking off because he's not invited to the wedding because he can't be trusted. Shush. Oi. So colour schemes, I'm thinking like pink, reds, disco balls, fun. Online, It's called Disco Lesbian, which I absolutely love. I think that's hilarious. I just think that's a really fun vibe, and also I think for a barn, like, it suits it. Again, with a barn venue, I sometimes think less is more. Like, I will never understand people that get a barn venue and decorate it to within an inch of its life and cover every surface and have beautiful tables and gorgeous chairs and then cover them in chair sashes and stuff like that. Like, I don't get it. If you're going to get married in a barn, it should look like a barn, shouldn't it? Like, that's just my own personal opinion, but I never understand it. Like, I went to one once and it was the most gorgeous barn venue. It was so pretty, and they had like drapes and everything like put in, but like it covered all the walls, so you walked in and it was just white, because there was drapes everywhere. You couldn't see any wall, you couldn't see any wood, you couldn't see anything. And I thought, you should have got married in a manor house or a hotel or something like that, because that's, you know, it would have been easy enough to do and it would have fit clearly the aesthetic you wanted. So it's got a kind of suit, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my plan with that. Nice and fun. I found an amazing lady that's gonna do all the decorating for me. Because I don't want to do it. When I first started wedding planning, I was like, oh my god, I'm going to be a DIY bride. I'm going to do it all. Like, check me doing a cheeky flower arrangement on a Friday night. Fuck that. Like, I know. No, don't want to. Again, I think speaking to brides is what's really put me off. Like, yes, it comes together on the day and it looks sensational and it's so lovely knowing that you've done it all, but when I ring them in the lead up to the wedding and we have video calls and their house is just completely overrun with wedding decor and they are stressed and they are on the verge of tears 24/7 and they are just in a complete meltdown, I sit back and think, is it worth it? Is it worth I don't think so. I don't think so. And like, I've got a house full of pets, a child, as you can see, there's stuff everywhere, right? I ain't got room to be storing all of that. Like, I ain't got the room. I ain't got the time. Like, no. Soz, no. Hats off to anyone that does, because this girl right here is not a DIY bride. Yeah, not a DIY bride. Next up then, food. We've got food sorted. My mum does accounts for a catering company, so that's worked out really well. We're not having a formal sit-down meal. It is food trucks and like hog roast in the evening, stuff like that. Super excited about that. I think, again, where I go to so many weddings a week, I have had so many sit-down 3-course meals, which I am eternally grateful for, because it's always fucking amazing, right? Always lovely. And super kind that couples pay for it for me, and, you know, ever so grateful. But again, I was like, the barn doesn't have anything there, so I would have to hire in a company to obviously bring all the cutlery, everything like that, to bring waiters, waitresses, do it all. And the costs, I looked at the costs and it was eye-watering. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, casual 20 grand on a meal for everyone. Yeah, sure. No, I'm sorry, I love my family, don't love you that much. No. So I thought, again, a more informal vibe, and as I said, kids going, families going. It's sort of like a barn, well, I can't talk. It's a barn theme, but then also it's like that fun festival-y vibe. So again, I sort of thought, I don't think a 3-course meal suits the vibe, what I want. So scrap that. Lovely food trucks and fun, and yeah, I mean, why? A wedding should be fun, in my opinion. I love a fun wedding. I love a wedding where people are genuinely like joyful and happy. Like, it's like, from a photographer's point of view, it's really hard to shoot a day when everyone is like stern-faced and pouty because the photos are just like, and you don't want that. You want photos of people belly laughing. You want photos of your dad doing guardian games and falling on his ass, or your mum sinking back shots with the best man. Like, that's what you want. That, like, yeah, that's more fun. So yes, got that sorted. Haven't paid anything towards that yet, so need to start looking at that, because, yeah. But yeah, that's sort of the main bits I've sorted so far. Now, other bits They're obviously equally important. A DJ, I've booked one, but I must admit I just booked a cheap one. And I keep going back and forth on this because I'm like, I love, or at a wedding, a DJ is so important. Like, if you want people up on the dance floor, it's important. But do I think a DJ for like 3 hours work is worth like £1,000, £1,500? No, I do not. I don't. Because the majority of DJs I've seen at weddings, and I would say that's probably a good 80, 90% of them, just have a laptop with a Spotify playlist, okay? I could probably bung my brother a tenner and he could stand there with a laptop playing a Spotify playlist. Do I want to be giving someone £1,000 to do that? No. Now, what I also clock, because lots of times as a photographer, you leave your bag like behind the DJ tables, so you get to see the setup, what's going on, compared to like what people see the other side. And the amount of them that will have like the DJ equipment out where people can see, but then have the laptop or the iPad covered, and they just stand there on their phones going through. That's not to say all of them. DJs don't come for me, but as I said, that's probably about 80 to 90% of DJs I've seen. They might occasionally go on the mic and tell people to get on the dance floor, but that's about it. Like, I'm just not sure on that front. And then the other option was a band. I love a live band, and again, I think a live band can do such an amazing job. Like, I think, like, again, it can get people up and going. But what put me off when I inquired with a few, not all of them, some of them were lovely, but there was a couple I inquired with, and they're like a list of like demands. I'll say demands because it was just a bit like, no. Like, there was one band and they told me that they wanted a dressing room, and actually they would need 2 dressing rooms, one for the men, one for the women, right? And I was a bit like, there ain't. Like, there's not a dressing room. There's a room out the back behind the curtains. You can go in there if you really like, but yeah, there's not a dressing room. It's a barn. And then they wanted that when they were playing, that the bar would shut. No one was allowed to go to the bar while they were playing their set, and they were going to do 2 sets, and everyone had to be inside. So anyone who was outside had to come inside to listen, because it would look better in their videos. And I was like, it's my wedding. Like, I've never known that at a wedding where people have been like commanded back inside, unless it's like for the first dance or cake cut or something like that, but like to watch your set because it will look better in your social media videos. No. No. And then I had another one that when I inquired, they were, you know, it was all really good, all really nice, and then they said about the fact they wanted a bar tab. And I was like, oh, like, absolutely. Again, when I'm at a wedding, if people put a tenner behind the bar, or if the venue give you drinks for free, like, that's a massive help, especially in the warm months, because your drink quickly goes hot. So if you can get, you know, a nice cold Pepsi or juice or something for free, like, that's brilliant. So I was like, yeah, like, oh, like, absolutely. Like, yes, you're going to get food, you can have drinks, like, that's fine. And then they were like, but they wanted a tab per person and for it to include alcohol. And I was like, again, I'm not sure how well that sits with me. Do I want to pay for you to get pissed for the evening? Not particularly. No. You can have a few cheeky Pepsis. I might stretch to a J2O, but they're a bit spenny nowadays. I'm not going to be putting money behind the bar for you to get off your tits on Jack Daniels. Like, no. So my band search quickly stopped. I inquired with a few that were really good, but because I'm trying to be budget friendly, I'm a bit more like, hold off. Just hold off for the moment, I think. Nearer the time, if I have budget left, I might look down that avenue. But I'm really hoping that it's nice weather, in which case people will be outside. So then I'm also like, do I want to spend so much on a band or a DJ if people are outside? Because again, I see this at weddings all the time, that they have the most gorgeous outdoor space. It's a nice evening, everyone is just sat outside, and then the DJ's in there with maybe like someone's nan and a 4-year-old doing headstands on the dance floor, and that's it for 2 hours. And I'm like, again, I don't know. And I think this is what's made it so hard, the fact I work in the wedding industry, because I'm like, I see it from the other side, and I see the stuff that can go wrong or the stuff that doesn't work well. And yeah, whereas if you're someone that's maybe you're planning a wedding and, you know, you've been to like 2 or 3 weddings, like you're going to see it completely differently to me, who went to 55 weddings last year. Like it's, you know, it's very different. Yeah. Now, entertainment wise, I want to go a bit rogue, okay? I want to go a bit rogue because, again, I see the same stuff over and over again. And that is completely my own fault. Being a wedding supplier, of course, I'm going to see the same stuff over and over again because there's only so many options. Stuff gets popular. When it's popular on social media, more people book it. And obviously the majority of people, they might go to 1 wedding a year. So it's not repetitive. Like it's, yeah. So a few things I didn't want was a caricaturist, okay, or a drawer of any sort. A drawer? That was really bad English. An artist of any sort. A magician? No. Yeah, anything along them vibes. They're really good, and I've met some amazing ones, but again, I think I've seen it so much. And it's, for me, it's also with stuff like that, like getting the timing right. Like, if in the evening you've suddenly got a man pop out the shadows and start shuffling cards in people's faces, they're gonna be a bit like, what's going on? Like, music's blaring, all right? Music's absolutely thumping. Everyone's had a bit too many drinks, if not eaten enough. Everyone's eyeing up the cake, waiting for you to cut that. Your nan is snoring her head off in the corner despite the free coffee she's had, right? And all of a sudden a magician is coming around interrupting you or trying to do tricks. It's maybe not the best time for it. So I think stuff like that, cocktail hour, is normally your best bet. Normally your best bet for stuff like that because it's a bit boring. And I say that as a supplier who finds cocktail hour very boring. And the majority of people do. It's lovely to mingle. It's lovely to get cocktails and canapes. However, sometimes it just goes on too long. Okay. If your cocktail hour is lasting 3 hours, too long. Way too long for people just to be stood there. But saying that, if you have some form of entertainment, then it can work. But time frame wise on my day, from the travelling to the registry office to the barn, etc, etc, I'm not going to have long breaks. So yeah, don't want anything like that. So route I've gone down is photo booth, which I know I'm counteracting myself here because that's like the most done thing at any wedding. But it's a really cute one. It's a company called Dotty Lane, and it's outside, and it's like a caravan. It's like a converted caravan. And I like the fact it was outside just because, again, like I'm utilising the space a lot better. And I don't really like the big blow-up ones, like, because it takes up so much of the room and it's just a lot. There's a lot going on. So I like the fact it was outside, it was separate, and yeah, gave that sort of space between. Now, other entertainment I'm still on the hunt for. I want to go quite rogue with it, as I just said. I want to go a bit different. One thing I would really love is a tarot reader. Okay, I'm a woo-woo girl. I'm sorry. Behind this, you can't see my woo-woo setup. I got a little witchy calendar a lot. I really want a tarot reader, and I want to get like one of them. Like, I want to hire one of them, like gypsy wagons. You know, like the old-fashioned, like, that's what they're called, like the gypsy wagons. I would absolutely love one of them with a tarot reader inside. Like, oh, what a vibe that is. What a vibe that is. Yeah. Another thing I looked at is tattoos. A tattooist to come and do them. But the cost is a lot. A lot. And I get the fact it's to do with licensing and all of that, but it was a lot. It was a lot. So I quickly that idea. Another thing I'm looking at, because of the space we've got, obviously where it's a barn, it's a working farm, there's lots of fields, stuff like that, is fairground rides, which I think could be sick. Okay, I think that could be sick. I'm thinking like a little Ferris wheel, maybe a cheeky bumper car or two. Like, that's the vibe I'm thinking in my head. So as I said, the whole wedding, I'm guessing like quite festively, carnival-y, chilled. Yeah. But the only thing holding me off is the fact it's a September wedding. Now, the last few years, Septembers have been gorgeous, and every September wedding I did last year had the most beautiful weather. But I'm like, do I risk it? Do I risk it? If I book all this outdoor stuff and then it's absolutely pissing down, is it a waste of money? Like, it's so hard, isn't it? Like, I don't know. So yeah, still on the hunt for some entertainment stuff. The gorgeous girl that's doing the event decor, she, like, the package I've got, it includes like some fab stuff as well, so like a prosecco wall, like all of that kind of stuff, like, is included in it with her, so she's going to sort all of that. So I'm like confident all of that side of it is like sorted and under control. And also I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to overdo it on getting too much stuff, and then, because again I see this all the time, that there's like too much going on, people aren't doing it, and it just becomes a waste, quite frankly. Garden games, I have hired some garden games, a company called Skittle and Duck, I believe their name is. I like the fact they were painted. Again, that's me being really picky. I like the fact they were decorated nicely, like they look cute, and they sort of fit like that carnival-y, fun fairy fun themed. Sorted my photographers. As a photographer myself, it was a bit like hard, but what I really wanted to do was go with someone newer and give them a chance, because I know I've only been doing photography at weddings the last year, and I'm so grateful for all the couples that have given me the chance, because it's a hard step in, and like there's so many amazing photographers out there, like it's such a busy industry, like there's so many. So I was like, if I can give someone else a chance and, you know, help them along on their journey, that's exactly what I want. I mean, I don't have to, because they're absolutely incredible. Like, their photos are so gorgeous. They're called Gibbs and Sister. So you get the two of them, hence the name. The most lovely, friendly little duo. Yeah, can't wait to meet them in real life. And they shoot on like a mixture of like modern cameras and older cameras, and I just thought that was really different, and I like the fact it was really different, a bit different to sort of like what I see at weddings. So again, I was like, I like the fact that like the stuff I'll get back is just a bit more different. I keep using the word different, but there you go. And even things like, obviously, where the registry office is like in a little village, like to get to the registry office from the hotel, I've booked like a red double-decker bus, like very vintagey feel. So again, I was like having some photos on film and stuff like that. I just think that's going to be a vibe. I just think that's a cool, fun vibe. So yeah, super excited about that one too. A dress, don't talk to me about a dress. I have no idea. Now the issue is, I went dress shopping back in August and I bought one, okay? And then, but the issue was like, it was like the first dress I tried on, and I was like, yeah, like I'll have it. And then once I got home, I was a bit like, why did I do that? And I think that was the potential, because it's not confirmed, ADHD in me, that was like, oh, it's a dress that fits and looks quite nice, done. And I think also because I was so like, it's really hard shopping as a bigger girl. First off, wedding dress shopping is hard, let alone as a bigger girl. It was like, oh, this one, yeah, let's just go for it. And then in hindsight, I was a bit like, I'm just not sure. And then I've started on a weight loss journey. So I started the fat jabs in, can I use that terminology? I just did. Started on them in December. So then I'm like, the dress I'd bought, it's just not going to fit. Like, it's just not going to fit at all. Like I'm not 100% on it anyway. It's not going to fit. I'm going to have to pay hundreds in alterations. Like, no. And also, again, I'm a cheapskate, and I see some incredible dresses that brides have, and I ask them where they've got them from, and it's online and it's cheap places, and you would not tell, you would not know. In the photos, you're not going to go, oh, that dress was only 150 quid. You're not going to know. I can hand on heart assure you, you're not going to know. So I think that's pushed me even more to be like, I'm going to get one nearer to the time when I know what size I am, and I'm going to get it online, because I don't want to be dropping a grand and a half on a dress. Now, don't get me wrong, a dress is so important, and you've got to be feeling your best. You've got to be feeling 10-10. You've got to be sashaying down that aisle like Beyonce. But personally, I don't want to drop a few £1,000s on something I'm never going to wear again. So there's that. I haven't started on suits. I haven't started on bridesmaid stuff. I haven't started on any of that. So yeah, who knows when that's coming. I think I'm just really chilled because I'm like, it will come together in the end, won't it? Like, it will. There's like no way like it can't. Do you know what I mean? Like, the main stuff's booked. If I suddenly got to the day before and realised, oh shit, I forgot to get a dress, I probably literally could go somewhere and buy one off a peg. Like it's not going to be the case, but you know what I mean? Like, there's always ways around it. So yeah, I think plan of action, just do the big things first, get that all sorted, and then go in with the detaily bits and other bits along the way. I'm not going to be spending tons on like gifts for people. Wedding favours, I think they're a waste of money, unless they're really cool and unique, personalised, or really useful. They get left behind. The amount of tables at the end of the night that are just filled with wedding favours is sickening. When you're dropping hundreds of pounds and they're just left there, there's no point. Same as like the flip-flops at the side of the aisle, and not side of the aisle, like side of the dance floor, the glow sticks. Again, you're usually left with them all. A few people might take them. If you can get them for dead cheap, look on Vinted or Facebook Marketplace. That's a good way to get them really cheap. I would not suggest spending hundreds of pounds on stuff like that because it doesn't get used. Okay, it doesn't get used. Same as another tip. I'm giving you tips here, so make sure you're writing them down. Don't have too many guest books. Okay, now this might sound funny, but as a thing I'm seeing a lot lately, where people they'll have like an audio guest book, but then they'll also have a written guest book, and then they'll also have a Polaroid camera where you can take a photo, stick it in the book and write a message. People aren't going to do all three. Okay, so actually what you're left with is 3 different guest books with hardly anything in each. It's pointless. And also, how often are you going to pick up a physical guest book and read through it? You might the once. You're probably not going to do it again. So again, I would say with that one, maybe think up something unique or something different that you could get more use out of. Quite a cool one I've seen recently is playing cards. People writing on playing cards, and then obviously you can use them. You've got the nice messages there. Or they put them into like a frame and make a picture with them. That's quite cool. Or people's Polaroids, doing that with them. But yeah, don't have too many, because like I sometimes feel bad and I'm there like shimmy. I got the hiccup, sorry. I'm there shimmying people like, go write in the guest book, because it's like a 100-page book and there's only like 2 names in it. Yeah. And it's got to be somewhere people is actually going to notice it. Because if it's like, say you've got like a present table and it's like on a table next to it, there's not really anything else on that table, they're not going to notice it, are they? When they're up dancing, that's probably over the other side of the room. It's just going to be left blank. To be quite honest, that's something you could skip altogether, to be brutally honest. But obviously it's your wedding. But I would say if you're panicking on costs, don't panic buy stuff like that that's out of your budget, because again, there's not really much point. I sound really negative, don't I? I swear. I love shooting weddings. Like, I really enjoy it. But I think, as I said, because I've go to so many, I really see the other side of it, of what is just not worth it and what is just throwing money down the drain, quite frankly. So yeah. I think that's it. I think wedding update for me, that's it. I mean, I've babbled for half an hour. So if anyone's actually sat and watched this, hat off to you, because I'm a boring bitch. But yeah, if there's any suggestions on anything wedding wise, anything I haven't spoken about or thought about, or if you're local to me, I'm in Swindon, if you have any supplier suggestions who's not a magician, drop me a message, comment on this below. I would love to know. I will make sure I do like a week vlog next week. I'll be quite honest, I forgot. I'm filming this on Friday, ready to upload today. So yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you soon.